That time that you're spending in a sales process, right, working on documents, is time that you could be talking to the customer on a meeting, doing a presentation, trying to work the deal in a more meaningful way than answering questions in a questionnaire.
Welcome everyone. Today I'm joined by Ray Meiring, who's based in Seattle, Washington. He's the CEO of Qorus Software, and that's Qorus with a Q. Welcome, Ray.
Thank you very much, Alex. Appreciate being on the show today.
Absolutely. Your product, it's a proposal management software built on the Microsoft platform. Now, anyone listening to this, if you're a CRO, a sales manager, or other business leader of enterprise company, and you do a lot of RFPs, RFIs, RFQs, all the RFs, and pitches and presentations, this is probably an intriguing platform to use. Ray, you started this 8 years ago. What's one thing, if you could go back 8 years, what do you wish you had known 8 years ago?
I wish that, quite honestly, I wish I had thought about moving quicker to the United States. We started the business in South Africa, so I wish we had moved out here quicker to really work with this fantastic market that's in the US. In terms of the product, it's hard to see how the demand for those kind of RFP documents would just grow exponentially over time. So we probably would have pivoted into certain areas sooner, but I think if I look back at the 8 years, that's probably the one thing I would have done sooner.
On your site, you stated around the focus is moving deals through the pipeline faster, enabling teams to deliver personalized proposals, create content in minutes versus hours. What problem did you set out to solve with Qorus, and how has that changed now over the years?
Well, if you've ever responded to one of those RFP type documents, you will know what a painful experience that is. And we had plenty of that pain ourselves in the early days of running companies there. So that's the problem that we wanted to solve, is how do we make that process faster? How do we make it more efficient? How do we increase the wins from those RFP responses and proposals that we produce? When we started the business, we didn't have access to technologies like natural language processing. So we did a lot of things like pattern matching and that type of tech usage. But as time's moved on, we've been able to deploy those newer AI type technologies, NLP, into that process. And so from a more manual, even though it's automated, but more human-driven process to a more automated process, that's a great evolution that we've seen.
So the big win for your platform is the assisted element of it doing a lot of the grunt work of creating RFP as far as it can go. Am I getting that correct?
That's right. Responding to the RFP, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So walk me through a good use case of one of your clients, even if you can give a name, and just from beginning to end, can they use your platform?
Well, imagine receiving a questionnaire. You got 1,000 questions in it. One of our clients, Genetec, out of Canada, has this exact problem. And now, to answer every question in that immense questionnaire, someone would traditionally have to go to each question, find where you've answered in the past, or use their knowledge to go and fill out a response to that question. Now, for Genetec, what we do is we identify the questions in the document, give them really smart search technology to go and find answers to those questions, and in some more recent features that we've given them, actually just highlight the whole bunch of questions and say, where have we answered these in the past? Go and fill it out for me. And the NLP, the natural language processing, it clicks in there and just answers those questions rapidly into the document there with a high level of accuracy. I mean, there's still humans involved to validate, but overall, you've got a good response to that. And so for them, 5 times faster, it's significant time saving.
In all my conversations and research into use cases of AI, business is one of the most powerful uses for where AI is right now, because it gets you often 80%, maybe 90% there. In consumer world, that's not good enough. Like if Siri isn't responding properly, 100% of the time you're annoyed at it. But in the business world, if you can save 80% of your time, like getting up to that, that's powerful. And it seems like this is a fantastic use case of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that time that you're spending in a sales process, right, working on documents, is time that you could be talking to the customer on a meeting, doing a presentation, trying to work the deal in a more meaningful way than answering questions in a questionnaire. And so if we're able to take 80% of that problem, automate the questions, and then have that salesperson focus on the 20% of the questions that are high value questions, differentiated questions, personalized questions there, not only have we saved them time, but they can put their energy onto the questions and the parts of that RFP that are going to help them win the deal.
What are you most excited about right now, roadmap wise, coming up that you are working on and that you can share?
That whole concept of NLP and where it's going really, really excites us, and being able to improve and sharpen that up as the technology improves, as we can feed off that. That's an exciting space that we see continuing to grow. But in addition to that, injecting those kind of capabilities into your Office application. As you mentioned, Microsoft Office is a big part of what we do. It's how we differentiate, allowing you to work inside your Office application. Having those NLP technologies right there, so you don't have to be clicking buttons and running searches. The software is naturally offering you answers to questions, introducing you to winning content as you're moving through that process in a familiar world of Microsoft Office. That excites us a lot as we move forward.
Where do you see the company in 5 years?
We're going to be the de facto proposal management tool for sales teams. Many sales teams don't realize that this problem today can be solved with software. They think that it needs to be handled manually. As we educate the market, so we believe that we'll be part of that stack that everybody needs to solve the sales problem, and we'll do that on a global basis.
Ideal candidate for your platform? What size company and what industries are you often in that would make sense?
Typically we're dealing with companies that are responding to RFPs in a reasonable volume and are typically spending a lot of time doing that. They're answering complex questionnaires. So we would see ourselves in companies over 200 employees. In the main, that's not a fixed rule, but that's the general space. And then really two camps: professional services, where you're selling resource around a problem. You're solving a particular problem, like legal as an example there. That is a key area for us. And then product companies, so SaaS product companies, electronic manufacturing product companies, engineering companies, they typically have those problems to solve, and that's where we see a lot of strength.
Where can people go to learn more, and what's a good first step they should take?
Our website's one of the best places to go to learn more about Qorus. One of the other intriguing platforms to look at is to go onto a G2 Crowd or a Capterra. And to start there, what's really good about that is you see our user reviews on those sites. And so you can see how people are using the software and how they've benefited from it. And if there's any strengths and weaknesses that you should be aware of. The very next thing that we would normally do is schedule a demo with you, take you through the experience of that, talk to you about your challenges, your problems on the platform or in your business, and then show you how the platform might be able to address some of those problems. And then we're happy to kick into a trial as well if you want to experience it.
Have you seen a company using AI, machine learning, or other technology to transform the way we live, work, and do business? Go to uptechreport.com and let us know.